Stokine Cat. I am the creator of Urban TTRPG. Today I'm going to be drawing a Patreon award for the Urban Avian. They are a great game designer, I believe, duo that's been supporting me for quite some time, and I'm working on their runner. And the prompt was fun. There was a lot of elements that I was given the prompt for, but still had to do designing for, and it was fun. I haven't honestly done anything like this in a while. Um, I really am happy with how it turned out. The jacket, I'll flash the image on screen, had custom pattern. That originally the original idea was essentially more like a biker jacket, a little more tacky. But after reading the prompt again and googling what an evil eye is, it I was able to get a much more in line with the original with the actual prompt design. P.S. Just for the AI bros, the prompt being what the client told me they wanted, not what I typed into some shitty AI fucker. Yeah, no. So we're starting to get the stuff figured out. It was fun. At first, I was like, this is what a runner would do. They wouldn't be messing with the tunnel residents. But then after again reading it some more, realizing, this is a bandit. It was really fun to do, and I really appreciate them doing it more in line with the world one. Um, that's a fun. Really, I had trouble getting the first pose wasn't dynamic enough. It was really stiff, so I scooted at the leg a little more, had her bend down a little more in the back, and got something that I felt popped a lot better. The original was just way too stiff, and it looked too posed. I still think that the final ended up being a little too posed, but this looks way better in compared to what it was before. Um, the lines almost looked a little more like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Yu-Gi-Oh's lines. But overall, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. The Strife Sphinx pattern is based on a little glass like tiger that my dad got out of a storage unit, and I've loved that thing for a while. It's really influenced a lot of things in my design of how I do stuff. But okay, so those boots. When I was doing a CTRPG, the other designs is like I wanted something kind of felt a little more like stocky, and then it hit me. Goku's boots from Dragon Ball, a lovely shoe design. Just is great. So the gun, the rifle, there was a little some issues. I wanted what's it called? Essentially, like you pull back on the thing and it essentially pops out. But when I was looking at World War II era rifles, they had a little thing in there. They had these little clips that would shove in there. The only issue is that I forgot to actually put in the slides, so you'll see later in it. I should go through and put that slide in because I didn't put it in. But now, overall, super happy with how Stern 1 turned out. It just, there's some things that I'm looking at now that I probably should have done. Like, I probably should have put in a sling. The rifle probably could have used a sling. But overall, pretty happy with it. Uh, things to notice that I'm going to need to make sure I start improving. The problem is with this stuff, excuse me. The problem with this is that I didn't draw a lot of guns growing up, and I've drawn revolvers a lot, but rifles are a relatively newer challenge. This is what I'm talking about. Stupid. Nope. I chickened out. Yep. I forgot I chickened out on it. So I didn't. I saved the last thinking because it was just a pain in the butt. But all right. So I think I've talked about the art of it enough. Just because the rest is pretty straightforward. It's just thinking. Might jump back to it when I'm talking about the hand. But so I'm going to talk a little about the game while we're doing this. But okay, so the big thing with the Runeros is I really wanted to fix some of the issues that I saw in D&D. Personally, I hate D&D's combat. I'm sorry, I'm very sick. And this isn't to say that it's bad for other people. I just think that it can essentially boil down to you just surround the enemy and you're just beating them with sticks. So I tried to do a more interesting battle system that makes it so that when the people are sitting there's some suspense going on. That's why I was really inspired by Mega Man Battle Network. It recent talk with the One Shots Tavern, and that was one of the things that was fun to connect over. But I really think that there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do in that design space that I really want to throw into a game. And no, there's definitely some stuff that I'm gonna be changing going forward. I like one of the things, the original roll to hit uh, numbers were a lot higher, um, but I've lowered them. So in the game, essentially how it works is you've got so much AP that you can spend, and you can roll as much AP as you want, but that's going to, you're not going to have that AP, but that makes so you roll that many roll to hit dice. And I really feel that this gives the players more accountability whether their rolls succeed or fail, because it's one thing to have to roll one dice and fail, and you're like, oh, this is stupid. The GM kind of screwed me on that. But when you choose how many dice you roll, you're gonna feel a lot better about the roll, and something that I really wanted to fix in my game because I feel like I want people to be able to choose how much, but I also want a tactical element to it. I really love AP systems, designing wise, and I really think there's a lot of fun things you can do in the TTRPG space that really hasn't been done a lot because people are so used to D&D's style of combat where it's essentially just like two actions. And yeah, I know, the monk, the monk class exists, but we're not talking like min maxing. We're talking the average one. Oh, jeez. But no, no, this was a big thing I wanted to really fix with Runas. I think that overall the parts that I want to be fun, I wanted the social system to be pretty straightforward, um, because I want people to actually have to rely more on their basic understanding of stuff. And so the goal is to limit the amount of rolls they have to do in social situations. There is, like, let's say if you're interacting with something that you've never done before, you're gonna have to roll for it. But I'm really happy with how much streamline we were able to do, keeping the bulk of the complexity in the combat, and, and really. But the big thing I want you to know that if you're going into the game for the first time, I want you to think of the combat as a separate state. Essentially, if like you're going to Pokemon, and then you get jumped on by a trainer, that little or a random encounter in like Dragon Quest, you need to think of it like that. Because if you go into this game thinking, oh well, it's just like D&D, and I can get in combat, and then I can grab the chair. It's really two different states. Um, but no, okay, so back to the art. I love doing little cross hatching like that. It's sped up so you can't see how much of a pain in the butt it was, but I really feel like it adds a lot of character to a piece, and I feel like it helps pop a lot better. Um, Plus, it's a little thing you can do. It is a bit time consuming, so if you're on like a time constraint, I don't really recommend doing it if you can help it. But I wasn't, and I really wanted this one to pop. The Urban Avian has really been supporting me. I'll make sure I put they've got an itch.io, and I'll make sure I put their page, put Yanni's page. Been super helpful. I'm really thankful for his support. Um, yeah, overall, it's just been I've been very thankful for it. So this was honestly the least I could do. We're gonna be making a mini on this. The goal is to start trying to throw in more of these draw and talks. Though that being said, essentially going to do draw and lore. Since this is a Patreon reward, I figure I can do a little more freestyle talking here. Okay, so this is the thing. They've got that grip. I might throw a picture on here, but they've got these grip, like the grip on it is it was a pain in the butt to really nail right. I scooted the arm up because I wanted to make sure it wasn't fitting in quite as much with the other one. But no, I think it turned out fine. God, I'm really getting annoyed now that it doesn't have a strap. But like it looks good, and honestly, at this point, a strap would just take away from it. But these are the things you see in post, and it's a butthole and a half. So, but no, yeah. See what I'm saying? Like the little scruff marks add so much to this piece, and really help pop. Um, So in Runa's, a lot of the runners have these scars just from the job. Essentially, you don't come out of looking pretty. You're gonna have a bunch of scars all over you. Almost gonna look more like I can't put Vash Stampede from Trigon. Just nature of the beast. You're gonna end up with a bunch of cuts and bruises and all sorts of things, especially if you're a bandit. Um, no, and honestly, the cool thing is if he does end up using this in their games, using his the little token stuff like that, it'd be really fun. Because they made it like this is completely theirs. They made everything. There's some lore stuff they pulled from our world, but okay, so you can't see it as thing. But there's a flying liquor necklace on there. You can see a little thing. That one was fun, and that one was fun to do. And the fur, the inner of the jacket, I put some fur on it. My thought is since she's gonna be going through in the different parts of the tunnels, she's gonna need some like actual stuff in the coat. The coat is a oh my gosh, I can't blank on their names. Essentially, it's the underground cabbies coat. They've got a specific coat that they all wear, and essentially hers is like a modified version because she used to be a cabbie for a bit. Which honestly, okay, so there's some lore stuff that I might put up here, but the cabbies essentially they can travel underground relatively safely, um, and especially she was in it where she got the code. She definitely knows certain secrets of the world and certain things that are out there that are actually quite civil. Um, yeah, she'd be sad honestly. That legit that if you're gonna be a bandit, that's the best thing to be an X one. All right, we're getting to the end. So again, I colored it with the Uranose style. Essentially, it's just a specific shade of yellow. I can't give you the CMYKs. I should know the CMYKs, but and a white. Jeez and crackers. So you see, I'm jumping and I'm pulling it from another mini. This all goes back to I made a zine called Poppycock 3. It is finished, but originally when I made this TTRPG, um, it wasn't even close to it. But I pulled all from that yellow. I think it's a really nice poppy one. Essentially, I've One shot tavern described it as kind of like a morpborg color, but not quite like morpborg vibe, but not quite as like in your face. Real honest, perfect way to do it. I like to think of it as kind of like old like video game magazines where they had specific. Oh, okay, it's over. Old video game magazines that are specifically they use them to color. All right, hey. So again, thank you for Urban Avian, Yanni. I'll make sure to put their website in the description. Thank you so much. I've really appreciated. Cheese and crackers. I've really appreciated it. And listen, if you guys haven't, I'd really appreciate if you check out Ruraz. It's a post-apocalyptic tunnel bunk TTRPG. We play as mercs who are in a butt ton of debt, trying to pay it off, taking on dangerous jobs, losing life and limb. The cool thing is, if you fall for at least 2 months, you get some cool stuff like this. You do get access to every zine I've made, so it's still worth doing it, even if you're not really crazy about the idea of the thing. And the cool thing is, it's $10 a month would be the level. The cool thing is you're gonna my zines that I've got on there are worth more than that. I've got to think about like 40 or $50 worth of zines up there for $10 that you get for free if you're supporting monthly. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who supports Rumor CTRPG. And if there's any influencers that saw this and would like to know more about the world, I'd love to talk. And if I will naturally send you anything, just please let me know. And you guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for watching this. And next one, hopefully, will be a lore one.